Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. Today with Katharina.
Navasit
and Suchada.
Very well. Okay, so what's the question for today?
Today, I have some question. Actually, I heard that there are brain cells in the heart. How do they influence our thoughts and emotions?
Yes, we have brain cells in the heart. And the science finally found out what actually people who meditate or more spiritual people know already since a very long time. So we have an intelligent communication system within our body. Now we have the brain cells. They are also different places in the brain that have kind of a certain function. And they are much more connected with our rational mind, and that do transform everything what we think, so that we can understand, that we can comprehend things. That is also where we are programmed. Then we have other brain cells. I would say the second brain in that way, in the heart, cannot be programmed. That's the good thing about it. So, and you know, I mean, in all of this esoteric teaching, whatever it is, there's always coming up, think with your heart. And I remember myself, and I heard that first time many years ago, okay, how can I think with my heart? I think with my brain. But when you go in a deep meditation, you experience that. You experience those totally uncorrupt brain cells that cannot be compromised. Why do you think so many people have issues with the heart?
Because they don't listen to the heart.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly. So if we have it helps just to focus on the heart. I mean, you cannot, every time when you have to make a decision, whatever comes up, you cannot just go and sit in meditation. But it helps a great deal if you just, like, you can put your hands, you know, like you put your hand on the heart for a moment, just to feel, okay, what, and you can consciously start to ask, for example, ask your heart, what is the answer to that? So instead of an answer comes up with the brain, then you kind of talk within yourself, and you kind of talk with your heart, that I want to know what is my heart response. And you will feel it. And you know, we can say, like, our brain functions, and we have our eyes that we see things outside, and we react to what we see. Right? And this is very most likely a spontaneous reaction when we are just going through our daily life. The moment we start to focus, to really look at something, things change. So when you are just unconscious, kind of go through the world, there is a lot of subliminal programming everywhere, in every commercial, in every, even in songs, in whatever, they are subliminal messages that our brain absorbs. So the heart is resistant to things like that. So this is one thing why all spiritual teachers tell you, if you want to move forward, you have to start to focus. You cannot go totally unconscious through life again, you know, just walk, go, and whatever, you know, exactly what I said before, go with the flow. You know, it flows always downwards. If you go with the flow, you let go. This is the sheep that has no own idea anymore about life, is not standing up. This is the mass, the people who don't care about what's out there. The moment you wake up, and this is what is happening now, this big awakening, people start to realize that there are several things of perception. Now, Okay, we have our brain that translates everything, because we know, when we understand also already how the eyes function, that everything is upside down, that we live in an illusion. Consciously, you can know that. But of course, if we act here and everything is not turned around, so we just live our life, right? And we live our life mainly based on all the information, brain information we got when we were already a child. Our parents give us the program they had already, and programming. That is one thing, is the mind, no? Then the other programming comes with emotional feelings. So the emotional part is like, I want to get the chocolate, okay? So I have to be a good girl. So this is that kind of bribe system that we learn also very early. And a lot of people are absolute masters in this kind of manipulation. They are manipulated and are manipulating all those around you. And the worst manipulators are those who play the victim. The victim. The poor me. Now just look at the situation of like let's say a situation I know from, I have experience. There was a woman and she had children, and she was a very, very good mother. And then one after the other went away. And she had absolutely nothing anymore because she was not interested in anything else. So she started to go into the victim role. And then she started also to manifest symptoms because of her unhappiness, now the heartbreak cells, you know. And so she started to kind of blackmail her children all the time. You have to come, oh, I'm so sick and I'm so sad and I'm so... These are the very worst manipulators, because we are educated to be good. So if somebody suffers, we have to help. I've been in that trap long time too, till I realized that it was a trap. Because the moment you stop to give in to their requests, something happened within their life, and they start to try another way, and maybe a better one.
And this is all from the brain cell that's been programmed.
Yes, that has all to do with brain cells. Now we have here the emotional part, we have the mental part. But now when we go into the heart, there is no program. There is only love. There is unconditional love, which cannot be in the brain. Remember, the brain talks about polarity, always. And the brain can only, or we can only discriminate and live life because of polarity. Now, from polarity, people went into duality. Duality is judgment. And this is where it's getting difficult. So we have to unlearn all that what was judged, neither good or bad, it doesn't matter, it's judged. And we have to come back to polarity, which just is like the yin yang sign. It is positive, it is negative, it's breathing in, it's breathing out, has no judgment, no color to it. And see, the fall of people is in the judgment, and that's a program. That's the program of our matrix. The program that goes so far that the slaves even love their slave drivers and are happy to be slaves. This is so insane what they did. People give up their freedom for a piece of chocolate, you know, kind of. Chocolate is just was for us the kind of thing you go for.
From what you are telling us, I feel that it seems like the heart brain cell doesn't have energy to fight the brain cell.
It doesn't fight. Never fight. The heart never fight. So we cannot fight the brain cell. You have to raise your frequency because the love frequency is much higher than the fear frequency. The fear frequency is a frequency that is within your emotional body. So when something happened in your life, like just as I told you with my stupid tooth now, I'm afraid going to the dentist to hurt me and I'm going to have pain for 2 weeks afterwards at least. So this is kind of a negative emotion because I know that. So this is not something I can avoid, but I have to work with it because I need to do that for my body. Okay. So same as here. We have emotions that are from experience. And you cannot erase them. But we can overwrite them. That's the word. Like writing is not perfect. So when we say the heart frequency is much higher frequency generally than the brain, because it's not stuck in that way in duality. It's polarity. The blood goes in and out, in and out. It's same like breathing in, breathing out. It's just another element. As the organ, right? So looking at it very logically, when we say the heart love energy is higher than the brain discriminating judgment energy. So the moment when you start to meditate, the moment you start to raise your frequency, you are automatically connecting to your heart brain.
So how can we connect the heart brain is meditation?
Yes, or just start to live from your heart, because most people, everybody who is still in the masses, in the fear-based, whatever categories, they only work with the brain. The moment you do also what you do now in the morning, that's why I said the routine, whatever you do in the morning with this going into the heart, raising your vibration, raising your frequency, your heart brain cells are being activated to work with you. You don't think in the same way anymore, because suddenly it's not just like, I learned that, for example, I cannot judge another person. I don't really know why this person in the morning, for example, is aggressive. Maybe there's something happened at home, I don't know. I have not walked in their shoes, so we should never judge. The moment you start to go into your heart and you start to become more holistic, more whole, the heart brain kicks in and give you different directions in your life.
So when you said do meditation to connect with the heart brain cell, I think meditation is a way to raise awareness.
Yes.
So awareness is the connecting with the heart brain cell.
Yes, the more aware, the more focused, the more awake you are, the more you come back. But be careful with meditation. Meditation is something that people think you just sit cross-legged and you do some meditation, but it's not. Meditation is much more. Generally, it means to center, to focus, to be awake. Now you can meditate in a way the whole day. An advanced soul in that way does not need to sit in meditation every day, because the whole day is meditation, being focused. Like smell the roses, look at the flowers, see what you see, open your eyes and look what is in your life. And that is raising your consciousness. And you become completely different in your actions, because they are not just reaction anymore, they become action. When you react to something, that is the program. That is like the millions of bum, 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 bum going up here. Okay, 10 years ago, you did this and this and this happened. So you make your decision, usually brain, from the experience of what happened 10 years ago, or yesterday, or a week ago. It doesn't matter. So you live in the past. You are not in the present. As most people are either in the past or in the future. So either in the past with negative thoughts or in the future with fear. Most people fear the future.
So I think what you said, I think it's as same as what I practice in Buddhism. It's called consciousness, like continuous consciousness, like being at the present moment. You can practice that all day, and even in meditation that you just mentioned.
Yes.
It's like practice consciousness.
I had a friend who had on the telephone every hour, he had a gong, like gong, and then he just sit down quickly and align himself to the heart, just like a little reminder. So when the gong went on the telephone, he just vanished, usually 2 minutes to align himself. I think that's a very good idea.
It's a good way for him.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're very strong, also busy in daily life, in an office, whatever. It's good to have a reminder, because time goes too fast. Suddenly it's evening and you haven't concentrated the whole day on your heart, and the day is gone.
So in connecting with the heart brain cell, is it as same as we connecting to our divine or our true self?
It's all connected, Suchada, because see, you cannot take anything apart. It really is, just think always about layers. You know, we talked about the consciousness levels. So when you are on a low consciousness level, everything is connected, and it's like, again, ice, you know, certain things in you are frozen, like the brain cells are maybe not active in the moment, unless maybe it happened that something really dramatic happened in your life, or you fall in love or something, that suddenly heart brain cells are activated, because your consciousness is rocketing into another consciousness level. So that's the same also we said in astrology. We have in each sign, in each planet, in every force and energy, we have the lowest layer of absolute negative, and we have the highest layer of enlightenment. In all the signs, there are no enemies and no whatever. They are all part of our curriculum. That's the same. There you can learn a lot about not judging and understanding where we're going. And it's not just even the heart, but remember that the communication is in the whole body.
And how about the intuition and inspiration? Is the same come from
it usually comes from the heart, yes. It depends. For example, some inspiration can come like a lightning rod, come in the brain like an idea. Then you're open, and this inspiration comes from your own higher self.
Okay.
Imagine that we have really, like Crayon says it, an entourage. That means a team of light beings around us. They're always with us, and actually they are us. You remember that the soul and our spiritual being is much, much bigger than our physical being here. So we have the helpers there. We can connect. And for example, I have a problem, no? And I think about it, how can I solve that problem, say tomorrow? It very often happens that, not in a dream, but in the morning when I wake up and I can prepare for the day, I have a very clear solution for the problem. Because I am still in the alpha state, and the time comes close that I have to do that, so the solution is ready for me. And it happened like this all the time. Or I have a problem and I want to find out something. I bet that when I open my computer and go online, I find something pop up in one of the channels or wherever with the answer that I need. This is synchronicity, when everything is kind of start to align with you. And this is also here, that's what I also wrote about again. It's about balance. In the moon reading I just published, it's all about balance. And now when we think about all the other organs, they have, I don't know, look, science has recently discovered that the heart has brain cells, right? People who live a spiritual life, who have higher consciousness, they know that since thousands of years. Maybe not in these scientific terms, but they know. So now I would not be very surprised if science suddenly find that there are brain cells in the liver, in the kidney, in the everywhere. Because from my understanding, spiritual understanding, holistic understanding that all is connected, there must be something similar like brain cells in all organs, and they communicate among each other. This is why some people have the habit in the morning, like to smile to your organs. When you are in the morning, when you wake up, you're not up yet, you just, or just say thank you, liver, thank you, whatever, go through your body, talk to your innate that is connected with all the information generations back and can give you information. It's all working. So I would go a step further and not stuck with the heart brain cells, but I would go a step further and see that brain cells are everywhere in our body.
They connect each other.
Yes, yes.
When you said we have to balance, it's balancing between the heart brain cell and the brain, or balancing what?
You know, when you live a balanced life, like just for example, sleeping, waking hours, if you have a balanced life, you're already quite healthy. If you don't have enough sleep, you are not vulnerable and you can get sick easy. And this is the same with everything. So you don't need to actually go into your heart, brain, or whatever. You just have to focus and raise your consciousness. You have to start to see, you have to start to look, you have to stop believing the program. And this is what is really difficult and what's coming up. That is this cognitive dissonance, because people go in shock when they start to realize what happened, now what's coming. They don't want to believe it. How can you believe that your life, everything you live, you believe, was all lies?
So this is called a mass formation?
The heart, yeah. So there is a Heart Math Institute that has a lot of information on that, but I would even go a step further, as I said. But the cognitive dissonance that is already here, and that's coming much stronger with the disclosure that is happening. And you know that Jupiter is going forward, going into Aquarius on 18th of December. And then in January, Uranus goes direct. And that is fire. And I don't know what's going on, but I just recommend you get ready for this time, because then people need our help. They really need our help. And you can do just very simple, just to people around you, just start to make some, like, this all doesn't make sense anymore. Just make them think. Or just, do you believe that this is true? Or do you believe that this is true? Don't tell what you believe, but just ask questions. Ask questions that they start to think.
So we can ask them that, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And about their experience, does it make you happy? And do you think you gain anything from that? And then you can also see very clearly who is just absolutely in the mind, in the brain. You know, they will start to argue with logical examples and things they have. Those who are already close or kind of breaking through to connect, they start to kind of not just fire back, but yeah, maybe you're right. I have to think about that. What do you think? And then you can see how far you can go. Don't shock people. Just go slowly, you know. Like, for example, also I have, when they ask for the vaccine, whatever, I just say I'm in a control group. And then people are quiet. They don't ask any more questions. They don't even ask what kind of control group, you know. So it's easy. Because we have to see that all what is playing out now is not legal. And they cannot force you. There is your protection. You see that all the deadlines, they always go further, 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 further. But like, for example, if somebody says you have to get the jab until, say, the 15th, and then, of course, a lot of people go before the 15th, right? But when the 15 arrives, they have to push that date and put it the 15 next month. Because they cannot, and they know it's illegal. You can sue them. They cannot. In all countries worldwide, they have not the right to breach your right to have a saying what you want in your body or what not. And when you just like again, come like here for the heart, when you feel into that, then you feel the compassion for the world. Then you feel the suffering and the fear, and how so many people, they are so terrified, really, not just afraid, terrified of what's happening. They better go, everything, do what they say, because they're so much afraid. And it is such a pity. If you would know you're right, it would be much, much easier. But see, that's also the program, and the program started 70, 80 years ago, actually even further, but especially after the Second World War in the 50s, they started to do all this brain control, they started consciously, very consciously, because I have to tell you that. Have you ever heard about Project Looking Glass?
Looking Glass?
Looking Glass. Okay. This is something that they can predict the future.
Oh.
Okay. This is used in the secret space program. And what happened actually is that suddenly they saw that after 2012, or in this, I don't remember the year exactly, but 2012, we moved in another age, that all the timelines come together and they can do whatever they want. This is what people call the Great Awakening, that people are waking up. So what they do since 50, 60 or more years is try to avoid that people can wake up.
Okay.
So one of the first thing was fluoride in the toothpaste, in water, whatever, which is attacking your brain, your willpower. And many other chemicals that are in the water, wherever. The VAX programs have started in these years, you know. And that was already those who have since many years the flu jab. They have already got part of the poison. Those are those who are suffering now. So see, they are so much afraid because those negative entities, the cabal, whatever you want to call it, they know that the light takes over and they will be destroyed because the shadow cannot exist in the light. It's just gone. Now they fight like crazy to at least take as many souls down with them as they can.
So from what okay, so from what you're telling that they try to trick our body, stop our body to get connect to the heart.
Yes, not the body, the whole being. You know, the body is part of our being. So what they do is divide and conquer, divide and win. So the more people are divided, the more they are in fear. That's a strategy in war, divide and conquer. Make two parties that fight each other.
I said body because you mentioned about the vaccine injection, you know, and all the things with the brain cell. So it's like the body limit the ability of soul to connect with the heart.
Yes. And the more poison you have in your body, and especially certain metals and certain stuff, they will limit your vital energy. And you get more tired, more apathic, more kind of just get through that day, you know? Just get the paycheck to feed my family. That's why we have been pushed. You can see that. You said to me, Navasit, you wrote to me that here especially there is kind of rich and poor and there's not much in between. And this is happening everywhere in other countries. And I think, I don't know here if it was or not, but I know in Europe that there was a very, very good middle class. That's also where I come from, this kind of middle class. And these are the people who are being wiped out now. Because see, that's what they want. Those in the middle class who did not go up there, they take away, they put more taxes, more difficulties, everything to eliminate this middle class because they are the intellectuals, the clever ones. They are those also who start spiritual life. They come from this middle class because they have a certain IQ that moves beyond our necessities. That means those people, they think more than just how can I feed my family. They have time for other things. They take time for hobbies, to read papers, to do things. They are more intelligent than the poor people who, they might be very intelligent, but because of the circumstances, they have no chance to do more than just struggle for their life, you know? And that's what they want. So if people just are like all in this norm format, then they can control 100%. So they have to eliminate, especially this middle class.
I have a question to connect with the heart brain cell. What if some of the people, they don't know how to meditate, or they want an option from just meditating?
Okay, everybody can meditate and does meditate. Like, for example, if you watch a movie and you're kind of completely glued on, you're in a meditation state, and that's where they're programming. Television program. So that's the programming. This is in meditation state. They all go at least in an alpha state, and they just comes in feeding input. Okay, so once you understand that, you can, instead of focus on a stupid brainwash information, you can start to focus on something else. That's why I said focus is all, because focus brings you automatically into a meditation state of mind. So instead of, for example, I just had somebody told me about how to drink water. That it's good for the body, that it helps us really, is first of all, the body should be, the water, for example, should be around 4 degrees, around for up or down your body temperature. And if it's not, like, for example, ice is absolute poison. That kills your stomach. You cannot digest any more fat particles when the stomach is frozen with ice. And especially after food, if you drink ice tea or whatever with your food, your digestion is disrupted, because for this digesting fat, you need a certain temperature. So for example, also you can do focus, do just a second of meditation. You can just hold your glass and don't use any plastic cups. Hold it and say, I love you, or thank you. Just thank you. Gratitude is the attitude that changes everything. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. So, and when you start to do things like that, to bless your food, then you can see that your body reacts, because your food is coming in a much, much better energy. And again, it's all about raising your consciousness that will awaken your heart brain cells. It's not a process you have to focus on, whatever, but you can if you're not sure. That's what I do. I put my left hand on my heart for a second and I say, okay, what do I have to do? Or give me an advice or whatever. And then I just go on. Maybe I don't know in the moment, but it'll come.
How long does it take to get to
connect?
Yeah,
it can take a couple seconds. It can take 2 hours, or it can be tomorrow. But just if something like this is really that you don't know what to do with this, or you're insecure, then don't do it. Wait till you are secure, because then the decision is according to your consciousness level, that you can be certain within that's what you want. If you are not certain, meaning if there's still question mark, should I not, should I not, don't do it, because it's a negative sign already. Because if it would align with your consciousness level and with who you are, you would not question it. It would be clear. When the question come up, means that's not right.
Maybe the question is because of the habits.
Yes.
Because I question all the time. You know, like,
Hesitate.
is it, yeah, like
hesitate,
questioning and hesitation.
Yes.
I think it's the habit.
It's a problem.
Like,
yeah. For example, me, I have a Uranus in Libra, so
yes,
kind of hesitating.
but I don't have that, but I hesitate also.
Everybody does, and it always has to do with our way forward. If you are not questioning things anymore, then it becomes sometimes very arrogant. Because in every time you make a decision, you have to make the decision you're coming from the heart or you're coming from logic. That's different, you know? So if that means once you're insecure, balance, Libra, no, that's what you have to do. You have to balance your spiritual consciousness. That's Sun, Uranus, Libra, right? So once you do that, you have options. You have always options. And you keep them balanced. One day you drink coffee, the next day you drink tea. For me and for many of my students over many, many years, what I have learned is that the easiest way to break habits is with food. Change your food habits and everything in your life changes. Honestly.
I have to change. I always eat the same food every day.
And the same time. Like we have, see, that's our rhythm. We eat breakfast, I just say now, 7 or 8 o'clock, you eat breakfast, lunch, you eat at noon, and then you have dinner. Why don't you skip breakfast once and eat at 10 o'clock? Or why don't you skip lunch? Because actually we eat way too much. So what it really helped me to understand is the moment I started to skip meals, I realized that I don't need them. What I do is I drink maybe more water. Instead of being hungry, what I learned in time, because I was fasting for many, many years, so every year, 1 month, and only drinking. And that helped me to understand that a lot of food, a lot of stuff we take, we don't need. And that this pushes our consciousness level down because it makes us tired. The less you eat, the less tired you are. Because the moment afterwards you eat, the energy goes into digestion. And especially like if you have a big lunch or something like that, you are tired, you know, in the afternoon, like the crisis at 3 o'clock, you know, kind of. And this has something to do with our food habits, but also the habit of like sitting for so many hours, what is absolutely not natural for human beings. As I said, all we do is a kind of a lifestyle that is not natural and not good for us. And this will change in the years to come. And this is why we need those people who understand, who raise their consciousness level to be connected, balanced with heart and mind. You are the beacons of light that are needed. We need to show them the way, you know. And in this way, sorry, I didn't even show the pictures that I have had, but it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna show them quickly. It's just about like, you know, it's just about how, yeah. Versus the brain, now you see here is kind of the lines are that, but everything goes in the body. It's not just here. It's much more. People always limit themselves. It's not good, you know. Okay, I have your pictures. I just lost them. Wait a second, I have to do the, okay, let me see if I cannot go forward. I have 3 more pictures, but I cannot move on. Another miracle. Okay, let's stop sharing. It's not important. I have to go into that folder first. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's I will put in the description below some videos that talk about more the scientific technical side about it from Gregg, Braden, and a couple others, so that you can watch the videos. They explain it very good. And interesting is most all of them also, once they understand heart cells, they cannot look at them only from a scientific way anymore. So so how they explain, especially also Gregg, Braden, is very beautiful. So I recommend you to watch that video. I just put it down below in the comment.
So I think to connect with the heart brain cell, we need to feel more.
Yes.
Feeling is important.
Yes. You focus, you know, there is a song I really love, let us walk the path of beauty, light forever shining. And this is the way it is, beauty, you know, beauty is uplifting.
Beauty okay.
I just also put in my Silver Dove Canal some pictures that I received from Paris 100 years ago and now. And, you know, it was such a beautiful city, or like a cathedral. It is absolutely art. I mean, it's not just architectural art. It is much more. Now, look at these horrible toothpicks that they build today and they call art. I'm sorry, but this is how our society is going with the flow, you know, kind of, because there is no energy. In these buildings is no energy.
Yeah, when you mentioned the cathedral, and I just look out our balcony, it's like the box building.
Yeah.
And the cathedral is like the arc with the pointed.
Yeah.
Different energy.
Yes,
just
it is.
At them.
So
that's why my house is slightly hexagonal, that I break the 90-degree corners. So many people come here and they feel so good. They have no idea why. And this is because they are not all boxed in 90-degree angles.
So the round house will be best.
Yeah, or hexagon or whatever. You know, you can even adjust the house to your personal energy when you know your planets. That can help. Like what is a very special Venus person might want to put the house in a 5 angle shape, or 5 units, or, you know, kind of the number 5 or number 6 for the hexagon. Depending on what is your energy, you know.
So your house is a hexagon?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's not much. You don't see that, but I break the angle. If you look on the balcony or in the back, the walls are slightly not 90 degrees. I have put it out from the whole 11 meters, 1 meter wider of up to 12. So this breaks the 90-degree angle, even if it's not a perfect hexagon.
I see.
So the little tricks like that can help a great deal also for our life, for our well-being, you know. You are not constantly in energy shapes that are counter active towards a kind of struggle. So you can do also, that's feng shui does many things like put up angle, stuff like that, that helps a bit. But if you're living in a high-rise building, the general shape is there. Even if in your apartment you put a little bit things around, you can change it a little bit, but not completely. So this is why you see that those people who understand, they usually move away. They start to go away from these places. They start to, like, especially in the past, we needed space. I cannot function in a place like that. I remember when I was in Hong Kong and other places, especially Hong Kong, in this, after 8 days, 9 days, I had to go. I got sick. And I came home many times. I came home sick because I couldn't sleep anymore because of the electromagnetic, you know, all this lights at night and whatever. It was really kind of, I needed to go back. That's why I live outside, surrounded by nature. And this is what, it's also the meditation, you know, if you want to connect with the heart, go out, hug a tree. The tree talks back to you. Start to listen. Flower essences. Look at flowers, understand their message, make them your medicine. We can make our own medicine. It's all available. But the brainwash, the program is that we are helpless if we don't have all this chemical. Then I cannot survive. And now this is very simple. You want to connect with your heart, start to love.
Unconditional love.
You will not be able, I'm not able to unconditional love. It's just too much in this energy here. I still have people I really don't like. Sorry about that. But I'm still very human, you know. But I try to give everybody a chance to help people to understand in the easiest way how they can change their life. And I don't give you any promise. We talked about master. So many people, they say, oh, you have to do this, 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 and then you get that. This is so linear. I mean, come on. You cannot predict that. It's not happening depending on what sabotage programs you have inside. This is not working. You have to raise your consciousness. And I can never promise you what comes out of it. And I know it's not pink. It will require a lot of honesty. You will go through a lot of pain also of losing things, of losing friends, of kind of, oh, I cannot believe that anymore. Sometimes it's devastating. But this is why it is so important that we have each other, to help each other, to talk about it, that you understand what's happening. So raise your consciousness, start to love, start to try not to judge people. Whenever somebody comes aggressive, think, oh, that poor guy, it's just like he must have hell at home or whatever. Just kind of wish them a good day. And even a person, when you are in contact with a person, try this. This is a very good method. Make a little compliment. But not the big thing. Just like, maybe the person is really, you don't like the person, whatever, but you can say you have a very nice necklace today or whatever, your hair looks good. Just do something like that to lift their mood. And you will see that the attitude of people start to change within you, your connection with other people, and the other people, you give them kind of a little piece of chocolate in the morning. You feel more happy the whole day. Just little things like that. Don't go into any whatever scientific, whatever, I have to do this and this and this and this. No. It's not working. It's not working this way. It's not linear. Yeah. This is working this way, different levels of consciousness. If you are on a consciousness level, fear-based, you will have no access to your heart brain cells because you override it with negative energy. And they are kind of like frozen like ice. That's the best sample I can give you. And this, what I said, everything is from a spiritual perspective and not from a scientific one. This is very important to know. But you can find it all today now. If you go, you find proof in science that what I say is true.
Good.
Wow.
And life will change completely when you connect the brain cell.
Yeah, it changes, absolutely. And see, that's also, you cannot do it in one bang usually. Usually it's just step by step, changing your program. And your program is, for example, as I said before, the guy aggressive come into your life. The program is, what am I doing? Punch him. But once you go into a different consciousness, say, understand him. Try to understand him. And know that every reaction, like an outside person that is there, has nothing to do with you. Only your reaction to that person has something to do with you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You have everything around you always, what in the moment you need for your learning, for your moving forward. Everything is there. And what makes the difference is how you look at the person outside, how you act or react to what is happening in your life. That was not exactly what you expected, huh?
It's much more.
Okay, very good.
Expectation.
Okay, I think we're really off in time, so let's stop. We can still talk later about that again. And for our viewers, please like and share if you like the information. And yeah, see you next time when we do a our next video. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.